Yeah, the group has a day to do whatever they want because, you know, for circumstances you don't know yet, but your character knows, they're not able to continue on with the main quest of taking down the Shadow Rooms until maybe nightfall tonight. So you have a day to do whatever you want in Ridak. So what does Vida do? Wakes up on a beautiful morning from a dream that has not been disclosed yet.
He wakes up, and so my Dylan goal is I want to complete my Vita goal today,
Hmm.
which is visit Remy's Jewels,
Hmm.
um, which is at the bottom.
Yes, it's an upper end.
So Vita's just gonna visit Upper End. He's gonna make some stops on the way,
Okay.
things that might, um, I don't know, whatever he
Might
sees on the
interesting.
walk. It's a pretty
Yeah.
long walk down there.
It is a very long walk. It's probably a good it's a good what number is that? It's too far to even see, dude. It's like a probably like a 2 mile hike.
Yep, he's ready.
He's ready. Alright. Vita gets up and starts just walking south.
Bye guys. And
Boy.
let me move him. And we're gonna walk down this way,
Mm-hmm.
past the burst,
Yeah. The burst even, in the morning time is still running.
and looks like the first thing he's gonna pass here is grade A
Mm-hmm.
and B weapons.
Yeah, as you're passing by all of the maps, you're looking for various things that you could maybe get and buy, and the only things that are named. There's obviously a whole bunch of other stuff. You see people in the streets with maybe various carts of food or little trinkets or things like that, but the named places on these maps is the grade B and A weapons. What does Vita think about?
What do I see when I? What do they look like? People here?
Which which one do you go to? I mean, as you're walking down the streets, you see signs leading within the buildings, but you can't see
Uh,
either of the
I
buildings
think
yet.
grade B first. I'll just come up on it first.
Okay. Right. Then, yeah, as you kind of follow these signposts that leads you to grade B weapons, so funny. Uh, you see a very you see a very small little establishment. Now, most of Central Ridoc is has very pastel, not pastel, but lots of different colors painted around. The different buildings are painted various colors, nice reds and nice blues. It's a very nice general atmosphere. But as you walk up to Grade B weapons, it is not painted at all, which is kind of odd. Nearly every building in this place is painted, but this is obviously just straight up wood. It's this small little building. I'd say it's probably like 50 feet by 50 feet, you know, 1 story tall. Has a nice little kind of slanted roof for the rain. But you just see not even as a nice sign or anything, but just carved and kind of these blocky letters. Someone obviously tried to put some effort into it, but it doesn't look as nice as uh, all the other signs that you've seen on various stores, painted or engraved or something like that. You just see etched into the wood grade B weapons above a door that is wide open.
Okay, I guess I'll just go in. It's wide
Yeah.
open.
You walk in, and what you see before you is just a like trying to think what am I thinking exactly of? Like a Pawn Stars. You ever seen Pawn Stars? It's like a pawn shop
Yes.
where there's a counter around the entire
The pawn
building.
guy.
Yeah, exactly. Where there's things on the walls. You see lots of weapons. You're walking into the store and you're seeing a weapons store. You're seeing swords and pikes and spears and any kind of weapon you could think of. They're just all kind of put onto the wall on these various just pegs that are sticking out. And then there's counters where there are either weapons sitting on top of them. Some have some drawers that are kind of pulled open, and you see various little things in there. But just sitting on a chair in the corner in front of one of the counters to the front right of you, you see a quite large, burly male dwarf who has such a huge, poofy beard as he's sitting there. It's kind of furrowed up on top of his chest as he's kind of leaning back. You can barely maybe even see his face, especially the bottom half of his face. Maybe you see some beady brown eyes or something, but he's just looking at you. He's got a big brown leather apron on, whole bunch of pockets with just different tools. Like he looks like he's got a pocket for every kind of tool. It looks like, and as you walk in, there's no one else in the store right now, but it doesn't seem like it's not well traveled. It just seems like there was a bunch of people walking around, and you just happened to go into the store when there's no one else there. And as you walk in, he says, "Yeah, welcome, customer. What can I do?"
Um, what can you do?
He
I don't
he
know.
he slowly kind of sits up, and you can hear just this creaking. You don't know if it's him or if it's the chair he's sitting on, but he kind of slowly sits up and he says, well, that's a great question there. I'm not. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for weapons, well, I can sell you some, but if you're not,
Sure.
well, then you can just kind of window shop if you want.
I mean, I don't have a weapon, so
He says,
what do
well,
you got?
what what are you fancying? You look all around you there, sir. If you look all around, you'll see that there's lots of lots of different kinds of weapons. Some are sharp, some are kind of blunt. If you're trying to just knock someone out, uh, you don't look particularly too strong there. But I'd imagine that maybe some ranged weapon would be good for you. What are you looking for? Are you looking to hunt? Are you looking to fight somebody? Are you looking to join the army? What are you thinking about doing?
Wait, there's an army?
He says, "Well, uh, I." He says, "Well, that was just a matter of expression. I mean,
Oh,
more you could join the guard, or I don't know if you're
yeah.
from around here. Maybe you're from like the Wettot Empire or something like that, and maybe you're just
Well,
looking to get better at weapons. Maybe you're looking to move somewhere. What kind of things would you want to be fighting with these weapons, or hunting, I should say?"
I mean, so far I fought a giant wolf. I fought a a ghost. Um, is that it? That's it, I think, so far.
His
What about
eyebrows
that?
his eyebrows raise a little bit, and he says, "Well, that's quite the range of different things to fight. How you've already fought them, and yet you said you don't have a weapon. How'd you fight them? Hmm?"
I mean, I can just use magic every day.
He kind of he looks you up and down, and he says, "Well, I guess that would explain the whole
Yep,
getup that you got going there. That you can use some magic. So why?
yep.
Well, I must ask, sir. I'm happy to give you a weapon, but why do you need one if you got magic?"
I mean, I don't really know. Do you want me to not buy one? I feel like you should be selling the order on this. I'll just go to grade A.
He says, "Oh well, yeah, you could go to Grade A. I know him there. Yeah, the owner there. His name's Rhino. We kind of have a partnership going. He's got
Oh,
some.
you're not
He's
like
got
competitors?
no. We're partners in this
That's
operation. We own each other, as you can tell by the name. Uh, it's going to be a little bit more pricey there at grade A weapons. But you can if you want. But all the weapons here are mighty fine. You can take a look for yourself, see how sharp they are, see how well balanced if you're looking for that.
You know, Vida's realizing he doesn't actually know how much money he has.
Probably have like 50, yeah, you have 15 gold.
Where is that?
It's in your equipment, it's the
Ah,
third
I see
tab.
it.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. What can 15 gold get me?
Oh, well, 15 gold. Let me consult my head. Let me really
What?
fuck around. I'm just saying that
Oh,
on
I
my
know.
end. What a crazy thing for someone to just say about
Okay.
thinking.
He's just sitting there with his eyes closed thinking.
Consult my head. Um, he says, "Well, sir, 15 gold. That's quite a good amount. You could probably get uh, a good amount of anything in here. Probably not some of the finer made things, but practically any kind of weapon if you wanted. What kind of you looking for? Range? You looking for short range? You looking for something small that you can conceal, like a dagger or something? What are you thinking of?"
Um, a dagger seems too like boring.
Well,
Um,
I'll agree with you there.
and I don't really know how to use anything ranged. So neither of those.
Neither. Okay.
You have anything
Well,
magical?
oh,
Why?
magical. Well, 15 gold.
It's a
Well,
lot.
let me look. Let me look. You're right. Let me look. And he kind of goes. He stands up, and then he goes and walks over towards the the left corner of the room. Do you look around while he's kind of perusing? He seems to just kind of be picking up things, or do you just kind of just stand there waiting for
I'm waiting him. I trust.
him? Yeah.
He's
Mhm.
doing his thing.
He says, magical things. Well, here is. He picks up this sword and it's sheathed. A lot of the weapons in here are not uh, yeah, not sheathed, just open out. You can see the blade, but this one it has this nice leather sheath around it. And he says, "Well, this is quite a peculiar blade. I made it, and then it got stolen at some point. But then I was able to find it, and well, now it kind of has this weird property." And then he unsheathes it, like a little bit, like halfway up the blade, and you just start hearing this faint singing. You just hear this a little bit, and then he unsheaths it back, and he says, I don't know how particularly useful it could be. It's a pretty good sword. I was pretty proud of making it when I remember it, but it's this it sings. It sings. Are you interested?"
So does it do anything besides sing?
He says, it seems to only just sing.
Can I examine this?
He says, "Yeah, sure, you can hold it." He kind of hands it over to you.
Yeah, let me like check it out.
Okay, okay. Do a little Arcana check for me. Oh, this guy's cooking. This guy's cooking. As you're looking at this sword, you and as you kind of feel it in your hands, do you unsheath it at all to look at it?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
As you fully unsheath it, the singing is a little bit louder. It's not like someone is singing in the room and it's like blasting you away, but it is certainly like if someone was like humming under their breath is kind of what sound is, and it's certainly audible. But as you are holding it, you can kind of feel it. It's like singing this little beat, and you can feel like your hand kind of move around, instinctually, like to the beat, back and forth. It's this nice little. It's like you want to almost like dance with the sword. It's not like making you do anything, but it feels nice to hold in your hands, and uh,
Okay.
I'll tell you this, that based off your Arcana check, that you holding this sword, you feel like, you don't know why, but you feel like you could do better with this sword than a regular sword in terms of combat.
How much is it?
He's looking at you and he says, "Oh, that would, ooh, that's, it would probably be around 10 gold, maybe."
Take it. Fair price.
uh, he, then he says, "Oh, okay, then, hand me over your 10 gold, and you can keep the singing sword. I hope you can take good care of it. It already comes with a sheath. That's pretty good."
What do you call it?
He says, "Oh, I've just been calling it a singing sword, but
What's your
you
name?
you can call it whatever you want." "Oh, my name's Tiny."
Tiny.
"Yeah."
Okay. I'm gonna call it the Rhino. I like that name better.
He kind of furrows his brow a little bit. He says, "Oh, uh, okay. Well, you can call it whatever you want. It's your sword now." Uh,
All
but
right.
yeah, Rhino's a good name. That's a solid name. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave now, and
He
Vita's gonna
said,
go to grade A weapons.
he said, "Oh well, thanks for stopping by." And he kind of
Anytime.
waves to you as you're going by. Now you have a singing sword. I'll give you a stat block for it. But yeah, if it's unsheathed, it will sing. So,
Okay.
and that's all you got right now. That's all you know about it. Based on, you'd have to inspect it a little bit more and for a little longer to tell anything else about it. But I'll tell you mechanically, it is a +1 sword. So +1s to attacks and damage with it, which is quite nice. But anyway, that's something you determined based off of your Arcana check. So you head to grade A weapons.
Yep. Just walk right in.
Okay, yeah. Well, this building is similarly sized, but it it appears to be like two stories tall, and instead of just being made, just out of wood, simple planks, there's some distinct, kind of carving to the walls that give it this ornate look on the outside. And then there's this large sign on the top front where it says, in big yellow letters, grade A weapons. So it's a lot fancier than grade B weapons, that's for sure, at least from an outward appearance.
Okay. Yeah. Let me go in. And I'll
Okay.
go Rhino.
You open up the door, and within, it has a very similar layout to grade B weapons, but you don't see any weapons laid out just on the counters like you did at grade B weapons. There are some weapons on the wall, but they are kind of either behind some glass, that they're protected, or they're so high up that they seem to be more decoration. But there's probably like two or three other people in here. But as you call out Rhino, you see that there is a male gnome, probably about 3 feet tall, that is was talking to another customer. He has a shaven head, he has a very big poofy mustache, And he's also wearing a brown leather apron with a ton of pockets, and tool handles, much like Tiny was. And he looks over to you and he says, what's your name? You called my name? What do you need?
I'm here. I'm Vida. I'm here for a magic weapon.
He says, magical weapons? Do I look like some kind of magician? I don't make magical weapons.
What? Are you serious? I just got a magic weapon from grade B, and you're grade A. You don't have a single one.
He kind of looks at you and he kind of looks to the customer. He says, "Excuse me for a second." And the way he's talking, is quite loud. It is like filling up the room. He walks up to you and he says, "You're telling me that you got a magical weapon from grade B?"
Yeah, just now. It's called the Rhino too.
He said, he was about to say, wait, it's called the Rhino?
That's
You,
right.
you must be joking, dude. You must be joking. How, this must be a
Uh,
prank. I don't
well,
believe,
I'll
I don't
unsheath a
believe
little
you.
bit. Hear that
She
singing?
did. And there's suddenly this singing in the room. And he looks at it and he says, what he kind of says under his breath, but he's a very loud person, so you can still hear it. And he says, how did Tiny get that? I don't know. And he looks up at you and he says, well, Vida, if you said your name, uh, Vida, I don't have any magical weapons, so if you're looking for it here, but, and he kind of, raises the eyebrows if he's like thinking, and he looks down at the sword. He said, if you just got this from grade B, how about I buy it back from you for a little bit more than whatever you paid for it? Because you're right, it is grade A weapons. I should have some magical weapons here, don't you think?
I thought so, but you don't. So
He says, well, I didn't think grade B weapons had any magical items, but it seems like he did. I don't know why. I don't know why the owner never told me that, but that's okay.
how much will you buy it for?
Says, well, how much did you pay for it?
10. 10
He
gold.
says, he says, hmm. He kind of strokes his mustache a little bit and he says, well, how about I pay you 11 gold for it? How's that sound?
I mean, yeah, sounds good if you if you think that's a fair price.
He says,
Sure.
well, it's more than what you paid for, so that means you're getting a profit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'm fine with this.
He says, all right, well, he kind of walks over to behind the counter and has like a big, you can hear some coins jangle, and he comes over and he's got 11 gold and he says, well, yep, uh, hand over that fancy looking sword.
There you go.
He says,
Thank
do
you.
you want any other weapons in here? There's some mighty fine weapons in here. Maybe not magical, but very well made. Made them myself.
No. No, I just wanted magical, so I think I'll just leave.
He says, oh, well, make sure you give us a give us a recommendation wherever you go. But goodbye.
All right. Goodbye.
Now you have 16 gold.
Fuck yeah. Didn't have to do a thing.
No, no, you're just interacting with everybody, dude.
Okay. Let's keep on going.
Mm-hmm. Going on your way.
He's gonna stop at books for sale. He's been eyeing this place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's probably around like, you know, 10, 11 in the morning. I don't remember, or I don't know when you woke up. But you've been looking for books for sale. Um, yeah, as you kind of follow the signs towards books for sale, you see a very long building that's in front of you. And you see that there is no, kind of from the angle that you're approaching, you're kind of looking at the short side of it, and there is no entrance, but there is an entrance on the long side of this building, probably a good, like, 150 feet long. It's quite a long building, but it's very short on the other direction. And uh, as you're looking at this building, it's a nice deep green paint on the wood on the outside, and you just see a kind of like a picket fence, or no, like a like a little sign that has just been staked into the ground. That just has painted on it books for sale in some red letters right in front of the two front double doors.
Okay. Um. Yeah, this seems like not some sort of trick. So I
Mhm.
think I'll just go right in.
Yeah, you walk in, and
Friendly
this
faces.
there is there are no shelves. You're expecting a book place. You're maybe expecting it to have some any kind of infrastructure to hold up the books, but you just walk as you walk in, there are just stacks of books everywhere. And there's kind of only these little aisles where you can kind of walk through. Uh, and various books are, kind of just in the way in the path, so you kind of have to step over them. But there's just stacks of books. Some are a little bit taller than you, some are, just quite short, but there's just a ton of books in this entire building, and there doesn't appear to be any any kind of bookshelves at all in this entire place. It's quite a sight. But as you walk in, there's probably like a good 10 other people in here that you can see through the different stacks of books uh, as you're looking around. But as you enter, you hear a voice from across the to your left across the building. You hear, "Oh, a customer, a customer. 1 second, I'm coming." And you see a female elf who has very very pale white skin, but very bright blue eyes. But that's not the first thing that stands out to you as this elf approaches you. But she is wearing a very long black veil in front of her face, and she has like a black robe on. But based off of her demeanor and the way that she's running, it's not like she's just slowly approaching you, but she's kind of like bouncing towards you as she seems to be very excited that a customer is here. And she says, "Oh, are you just perusing, or is there something that you need to see?"
I'm looking for any magical books.
She says, "Oh, well, what do you mean by magical books? Do you mean books that enrapture you and make you just uh,
No.
fall in love with them? Or are you looking for maybe some books that maybe have things to do with magic, or books that would maybe teach you magic? Is that what you're thinking of?"
Yeah, teach me. Yeah. Yep.
She says, I don't know if we have any that would teach you. We do have some textbooks that were used in various magical schools across Sumia. We do have a couple of those. Would those interest you?
How high level are they?
She she kind of raises her eyes. She says, level? I don't know. I think they were maybe like someone in their teens maybe would learn these books, like not elementary school books, but yeah, like, early teenagers.
I don't know. What would you recommend here? I have all the books in this place. Of any book.
She says, "Oh, well, I don't really know any of the books here. I've never really read them myself per se. My father owns the store. I just kind of work here, but uh, some of the books with really fancy lettering on the front, or have really nice leather covers, or really like gold embroidered into it, would I really like those books really look nice."
But there's not a book. Like a story or about a person.
She says, "Um, No, to be honest with you, I don't know really any of the books in here. I haven't really read them. I just know that what some of them are and if they exist, and I've helped other people. Some people like to come here for trying to find romantic novels. I know that there's some good ones for that, but I don't know if that's really what you're looking for.
Um, you know what? Yeah, I'll take one.
And she says, "You'll just take a book.
Yeah,
You just want one book. You want
just
any
one book.
kind of book in particular?"
Um, no. I mean, you said magical ones that'll enrapture me. I want to be enraptured.
He says, "Oh, well, yes, we have a section over here that are some of our most popular sellers that people keep seeming to come back for. So we can give you some of those. People seem to like
Yeah,
them a lot. You just want
yeah,
a random book from here?"
yeah. I want like a bestseller.
Okay. She kind of you both walk together to this one stack of books that seems to be on the lower end compared to the other ones. It seems to be quite popular. And she picks one from the title and she says, well, uh, she kind of takes off the top and she says, well, uh, one second. I do have a list of book titles. Let me searching. She says, this one could be good. And she kind of looks at the cover, and there's nothing on the cover. And then she kind of flips open the first few pages, and she says, this one is called Simply Murder. Does that sound interesting to you?
Yeah. Who's murdered?
She says, "Oh, I don't know. That's something that you're going to have to find out and read."
I'll take it.
She says, awesome. Well, every book here is 5 copper pieces. So if you just want one book, then that would be 5 copper.
Well, what if I've only got gold?
She says, oh, well, we have change for gold.
Okay, I'll give you one gold.
Yeah, you get 1 gold and you get 9 silver and 5 copper back.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
9 silver?
Mm-hmm. And 5 copper. And now you have a book called Simply Murder.
Oh shit, wait, I'm dumb.
There we go.
Where should I put that? Equipment.
Yeah, and equipment. Yeah, it works. Book. Simply Murder.
There we go.
That's stupid.
Oops.
Price 0 gold. Awesome.
Well, thanks.
She says, oh, well, thank you, and please come again. We have lots of books here.
Okay. He's out. Oops.
Just going on a spree, dude.
He's not going to the no iron blacksmith, sorry. But he doesn't have a weapon.
Doesn't interest him.
So I think by now he makes his way to Remy's Jewels.
All right. Yeah. Uh,
Guts. I'm still listening.
yeah. As you approach Remy's Jewels, as you're kind of following the signs, you see this building that is probably like way like the most of the buildings that are like 1 story here are like 10 feet tall. This one is quite short. It's like maybe only 6 or 7 feet tall, from the where it appears where the roof begins. So it appears to be quite. It's very short compared to all of the other buildings around it. But it is this painted this deep blue color, with various, kind of small circles of colors painted across the entire thing, little greens and yellows and reds, and light blues and things like that that are just painted across. And you see a top painted in various rainbow colors is Remy's Jewels.
It seems like an inviting place.
It's a nice little place.
Okay,
You walk in.
go on in.
Yeah. As soon as you try the door, it is locked. Or it's not locked, it doesn't open, I should say.
Wait, it doesn't open?
It does not open, no.
Guess I'll knock.
You knock, and you hear from a voice within, you hear, "Oh, 1 second, I'm sorry. I was on a break. I'm sorry."
Oh,
And you hear these kind of thump, 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 come up to the door, and as soon as the door opens, it opens in, and you see a 5 foot tall, old female kobold that has really wrinkly and cracked, deep blue scales. And she's kind of wearing these light gray robes that across it, much like the outside of the building, just have these random little stones in it. And she says, "Please, come in, come in, come in, please." And she kind of just walks away and kind of uh, gestures for you to come in. And as soon as you enter this place, it's very dark in here, but there are lots of, it's Remy's Jewels. You see a lot of shiny jewels just around. They are on various shelves throughout the entire place. Maybe there's some tables with jewels on it. But in this dark place, there seems to be no rhyme or reason where these different jewels are. But this place is packed with various jewels and stones and things like that.
so someone told me that I could come here for free identification.
She says, "Oh, are you not from Ridak? Is this your first time?"
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Well, yes, yes, that's something that I've been trying to start doing. It hasn't really caught on, but I'm glad that you heard about it from someone. That makes me so happy. What,
Encouraged.
what? Yes, yes. What? You said you have you want a free identification. What? Do you have some
Yep.
stone or something that you don't know what it is, or you're thinking about
Um.
trying to figure it out what it is?"
Yeah, I have something. How does this work? Do I just do it right here? Do we need to go to like a little room?
She says, "Oh, well, if you have it, come and sit." And she kind of gestures to one of the tables that has a little bit of a little bit of a clearing on it, but still has a bunch of jewels just all around it. And there's some chairs around it that she asks you to sit at.
Okay. Yeah, I'll follow directions.
And she, as she kind of walks over there, she walks to the side for a bit, and she grabs this device that appears to have a whole bunch of different magnifying lenses on it that can kind of spin around a central tube. And she grabs that, and she kind of waddles on over, and her feet are making these stomping sounds on the ground, like boom, 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 boom. As she walks over to the table and she plops down, she says, what is the stone? Let me see it. I would love to see it."
Yeah, I was wondering if you could just tell me what this was. I just pull open my eye patch.
You open up your eye patch, and yeah, there's this, the whitish gray little sphere with little craters on it within your eye. And she kind of, her eyes open up a little bit, and she leans back and she says, "Well, that is a place to put it. Did you put it in there without knowing what it was?"
No, I've been like this just forever.
She says, "Oh, well, that is peculiar. Uh, have you ever taken it out? Do you know if I can take it out and hold it? I don't want to intrude. I don't want to
You
do
know
it,
what?
but I
I've
can.
never thought of that. Um, can I feel it? Does it
Uh,
wiggle?
yeah, as you put your hand up to it, you obviously can't see it, but you can feel that the stone that is kind of within your eye. I mean, it is like an eyeball, but yeah, if you feel it, you can kind of move it like one of those old mouses that just has like the ball in it that you can kind of move it. It's like that. Like if
God.
you move it, it like yeah, it doesn't just stay in place. It's not like attached to anything. It seems like you could roll it around.
Let me try and just pull it out.
Uh, make a dexterity check for me.
Okay.
Or is there an acrobatics? Sorry, yeah, I forgot. 1 second. Yeah.
Yeah, acrobatics.
Yeah, do it. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. just roll
Athletics?
just roll a d20, and you'll add on +2. D20 +2. Okay. Yeah, so 16. You are, as you're kind of feeling it, it's certainly very weird. You don't like the feeling of it at all, but you are able to kind of get under your eyelids and get enough of a grip on it because of the craters. And for the first time, you probably felt it like really in depth. It is quite a rough texture. Like it's not like the smooth, like cue ball stone, even with the craters. Like even if you were to feel like within a crater, it has this kind of really weird gruff feeling to it, like sandpaper. But you are able to get a grip on it because of that, and through some effort, and just the whole time, if you look at Remy, she's just like, just kind of sitting back. She's like, oh, I don't know about this. But you do with a little plop sound. You are holding now your little stone in your eye, and the back half of it that has not been there is kind of a little wet, but it doesn't.
Oh,
It kind of comes out. It doesn't feel like it was attached to anything, obviously, because it came out as easily as it did. But you are now kind of holding on to this stone, and she says, "Oh, well, I'm glad that you don't seem to be injured at all, and now you
oh,
just have an open eye. And for the first time, I'll say this: for the first time since you've never taken it out before, it feels like something's not. There's like this weight that's been taken out of your eye. Like you can imagine that
yeah.
not having an eye now, your eyelid kind of doesn't know what to do. It's probably twitching a little bit because it doesn't have an eye in it. It's probably like not used to this at all. So it's very weird feeling for everybody involved.
Well, yeah. Let's just hurry up and I just don't like how this feels.
And she says,
So,
"Oh yes, of course. I understand that." And she kind of reaches out to delicately grab it. Do you just give it to her?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, so as soon as you're kind of like you hand it over to her and she's trying to grab it like this, as soon as it leaves your grasp, all of a sudden you see it. She was holding it, but then all of a sudden it just boom, slams down and goes with this cracking sound, this sound. You look down and you can see that there is now a hole in the table, as it has seemingly gone through the table. And in this sudden look, if you look down at the ground within the wooden floor that is on the ground, it has now kind of cracked one of the planks a little bit, and it's now probably sitting like a good foot, as if all of a sudden you were just holding this stone, and felt like maybe it was like half a pound or something like that. It wasn't that. It's like a cue ball. But
Mm.
as soon as you handed it off, it acted as if it was incredibly heavy and just slammed out of your hands. And with a yelp, Ribby is like, oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't expect it to be so heavy. And she's looking down at like the hole in her table right now, and she's like, uh, um, she says, I this is so strange. I've never seen any stone like this before. She kind of leans over and sees it's kind of made a dent in her floor. She says, "Oh, well, that's okay. I can easily repair that." And she goes down to kind of reach for it, and she is not able to pick it up. She goes, well, this is not,
Huh.
um,
Maybe I
this
should
is
try. Can I just
this is
go?
very heavy." And she says, "Yeah, you,
Maybe I can
and
pick it up.
yeah, if you pick it up, fine. Just you pick it up. Just
No,
yeah, you
okay. Um, now I think it's like a her thing. It's like a okay. Well, what if I just am like, what if I just be like your table? So I
She
just hold my
says,
hand out.
she says, yes, yeah, please, you just hold it in your hands like that, and I'll move around you and take a look at it, okay?" And she seems very like shocked at this whole experience. Very weirded out, but she's like, "Okay, I'll do it." And she gets out her tool, and she at various points kind of switches through some lenses so she can get closer looks at it. And she says, after inspecting it and making just these various kind of grunts to herself as she's looking at it, she says, well, this is something I've genuinely never seen before." And throughout the whole time that she's looking at it, before she was very perplexed about the whole experience. But now you can kind of tell in her demeanor that she's like excited. She's not, she's like, this is some stone that I've never seen before. This is, crazy. And she says, well, I've seen many different stones and geological features in my time, but I've never seen something quite like this. It looks like ordinary stone, but as I zoom in on it, it has such a fine texture. It's as if I'm looking at something so incredibly intricate that I can't pick up. And she's saying all this as she's still kind of inspecting it and going around it. She's saying, I can't even pick up on like the crystalline structure that I normally am able to with such a high level of zoom. I look in even further, and it's as if there's even more that I need to look into. It seems so uh, incredibly intricate. I'm not sure what this stone is. I am genuinely disturbed. You said you've had this in your eye the whole time, your whole
Yeah.
life.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Did your were you were born with it?"
I don't remember a time before it.
Says, did your parents ever say anything about this stone? Anything about it? Do you know anything about it that you could maybe give me some information on it?
No, that's why I came here. Now I see why this was free. Now I get it. I don't know anything about it.
She says, I I apologize. I just normally people come in with identifications of various rubies or emeralds, not of stones
Okay.
within people's eyes. But what I can tell you about this is one. Well, it appears to it appears to be attached to you in some way that uh, maybe others aren't able to pick it up. This I'm certainly not able to, and for its size, you seem to be lifting it with such ease. It appears to be attached in you in some way and has this faint glow to it that I can almost I can almost feel that there is some connection between you and this stone. Uh, and I will say that I'm not I'm not sure what kind of stone it is, but I don't think it is of this earth that we here, or what would I call it? Of this globe,
This world.
of this world. Yeah, I don't think it is of this world. I've seen all, nearly all of the different crystalline structures in this world, and I've never seen anything like it. This is truly extraordinary, and I apologize that I can't identify it for you, but she kind of looks to the side and she says, "To be honest with you, I don't think anyone could identify it with you or for you, because it seems to be one of a kind. And in order to identify something, there needs to be something about it that is similar with other things, but it's something I've never seen before. You genuinely have never you you you've had it your whole life. No one's ever mentioned anything to you about it. Have you always worn your eye patch?"
Yeah, I just kind of always had. I mean, I assume because it's probably unsettling. So I've just always had this eye patch, this eye. I've had these clothes. Um, Honestly, now I think if I've ever had any other clothes than this, I don't think so.
If you
Yeah,
didn't, if you didn't buy it, if you haven't bought any more clothes, then yeah, you're just the same
I know I
clothes.
haven't, but Vida
Yep.
is just now thinking of
Mm-hmm.
that fact. Huh.
And
Yeah.
he says, "Well, you have quite the stone there. If I would definitely not lose that. Keep it in your eye like you have your whole life, but I would not let many people know about it, as since it is so unique. I am just in this for the interest in the geometry, but I, as I've interacted with many other people that have tried to steal the jewels for monetary gain, and with something as
Hmm.
rare as that, and she kind of points to it, uh, that could be worth something quite a lot. So I would keep it hush hush, as it were."
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not like they could even take it, you know, but I guess I'll keep it covered. I guess that's something. You know what? I guess that's something.
She said, "Well, thank you. Uh, is there anything else I can do for you? I thank you for showing me a new stone I'd never seen before."
What would you call this stone? What should I call it? You're a stone person.
She says, well, uh, are you looking for a geological name
I mean,
or something just to call it? Because I have a whole classification." She kind of gets up and she starts rifling through like a book that she has on like a
yeah,
table. She
yeah,
says, I have a whole classification where I could come up with a new name for it if you'd like."
yeah. I
She
want, yeah.
says,
We're gonna
she's
break
kind
some new
of,
ground here.
yeah, she said it, and kind of with you goading her on, she's like, "Yes, yeah, you're right. Well, this is a new stone. We get to name a new stone together. Oh, this is just fantastic." She starts kind of rifling through the papers quickly. She's kind of like putting her finger down them to read through. She's kind of muttering to herself. She says, "Oh, well, how about we can call this stone?" And she kind of looks up triumphantly and she says, "Lunalius. How's that sound?"
Lunalius.
Lunalius. I like that sound.
Okay. So it's not a ruby, it's not an emerald, it's a Lunalius stone.
Yes, it's a Lunalius stone. Oh, that has a nice ring to it.
Okay.
It says,
You
"Well,
say.
I will. Do not worry. good sir. May I please know your name?
Vida.
She reaches out her hand for a handshake and she says, "My name is Remy.
Yeah,
If you,
need that.
I will keep the Lunalia stone a secret. Fear not. I will not let anyone know of our new recent discovery. And it was a pleasure meeting you.
Wow.
Thank you for showing me a new stone."
You're very nice. I feel bad for doing all this for free. Can I give you like a little tip or something?
She says, "Oh, well, the experience was worth the price itself, but if you want to give a tip, I would not refuse."
Uh, I'll give her 1 gold piece.
She says, "Oh, well, thank you, Vida. That's very kind of you."
Bring me down to 14. Okay.
She
Goodbye
said,
now.
"Well, yes, goodbye, Vida. Please come again any other time that you have any other interests with jewels or stones."
Yeah, once I figure out what it is, I'll come tell you.
She says, "Thank you. Bye bye."
Just
She
don't
kind
let the
of waves
shadows
to
get
you.
you.
She says, "I, yeah, I
Seriously.
won't let the shadows get me. Don't worry."
Seriously. Alright. Now I'll
Such a
leave.
fucking ominous thing to say to somebody. Yeah, it's good meeting you. Don't let the shadows get you.
Alright. I'm out of there.
All right, you have learned of Lunalia's stone.
That's pretty much all I wanted to do. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I
Yeah,
feel like I did a
you,
lot in that, honestly. That's
you did.
probably
You
more than I
got
would get in a session.
Yeah. No, you got out, and you probably got a good probably like 2 p.m. in the day.